a lot of that disruption is because of the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a vital trade corridor for global shipping, and one that our next guest knows all too well. He is the chair of Board of Directors at Constellation Marine Services, but he sits on a number of different registries and committees, the Lloyd's Registry Advisory Committee. He's a registrar at the Antigua and Barbuda Maritime Flag Registry, full member of the Baltic Expert Witness Association, past president of the International Institute of Marine Surveying, amongst many other titles. Who better to ask for a little bit of clarity during times of uncertainty than Captain Zarir Irani. Captain, thank you so much indeed for joining us during these unprecedented times, and can't thank you enough for joining us on the Business Breakfast.
Thank you very much, Tom. It's a pleasure always to be with you guys.
Right, let's just start with the state of play in the Strait of Hormuz. We are waking up to the fact every morning that it is effectively closed at present. Not officially closed, but effectively closed because of the ongoing troubles in the strait. Are there any alternatives for shipping companies?
Well, the simple answer is yes, there are. They're all expensive and time-consuming. And all of them, whichever option you look at, is got the last mile challenge. But there is obviously an alternative. Some of them have drawn up pipes on the other coastline, some states, and some states are moving it the old-fashioned way, each parcel at a time, in containers or in parcels. But alternatives are always there for logistics. That's a simple answer.
There are suggestions coming through from a number of analysts at the moment about alternative solutions in the strait itself. One that I've heard is alternative shipping lines. At the moment, the shipping lines, I understand, run straight through the middle of the Straits of Hormuz. Is there the option of moving them closer to, say, the coast of the UAE, or is that not effective?
No, it's just high risk to transit that little 33 kilometer passage, and off that also there are traffic separation schemes which constrain the traffic inwards and outwards of the Hormuz. If you see a large desert, and if you see a tarmac road made in the middle of it, imagine that. And that's what a vessel traffic separation scheme out at sea looks like. So coming closer to the coastline is not going to help. It's going to make a difference of a couple of nautical miles, maybe, but it's still deemed to be risky.
It's obviously something that a number of nations are looking at the moment. In fact, we had the Treasury Secretary of the United States yesterday announcing, or certainly suggesting on an interview with Sky News, that we could see navies from around the world escorting oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. Again, give me your thoughts on that announcement and how risky that could be.
Yeah, that's the most legitimate way to averse a risk that there are the Navy vessels which have deterrent measures escorting naval vessels. That's usually what is done when the Somali conflict was there, when piracy was at its rampant, and then the Red Sea. That they do make a corridor. A safe corridor, and naval vessels take a fleet of vessels, a convoy through escorting vessels. That is the most common way to avoid a conflict zone. Mm-hmm. But with the latest news coming up last 2-3 days that potentially would be mines laid up, that would throw that out of the window, because then it becomes that much more risky, and you need minesweepers to clear the path to start with.
Captain Zarir, you have the ear of shipping companies, of seafarers, of all those heavily invested at the moment. Just in terms of the seafarers themselves, I mean, we talk a lot about the vessels that are stacking up at the moment, those that are attempting to get through, those that can't get through. We're seeing the images of those being hit. What's the mood of seafarers stuck in the strait at the moment, and seafarers in general?
Well, they're not stuck in the straits. They are in either the Arabian Gulf or on the East Northern Arabian Sea, awaiting orders. But definitely there are constraints, there are worries, not just for seafarers, but also their families, because to move cargo, it's not worth risking lives, or to salvage vessels which are strained in the straits. And that's life over limb is the general saying that we have at sea. Safety of life at sea is of utmost importance. We know of companies that are incentivizing crew to transit this with promises of safety, and there are some seafarers who are taking that as a bonus opportunity with the risks or the calculations of risk according to them. But in my view, it is still very, very dangerous to transit conflict zone. We saw that during the past Gulf War, which was there in the late 80s, 90s. And the Red Sea, Somalian notorious the piracy rampage. But there were ships and crew who were ready to take that challenge. So definition of risk differs from person to person and the sailor to sailor.
Just also on, given your experience of the strait and the complexities that come with it, in terms of resolutions, and who knows, we are approaching this day by day at the moment, but given the fact that we've already seen and had official reports of attacks on tankers and cargo vessels, we've seen images of burnt-out vessels already, does it take a long time to clear the strait before ships can get back moving?
Yes. Yes, there is a lot of debris if a vessel has been sank there. There has to be a salvage operation. There has to be a wreck removal notice gone out. If mines are laid, so there has to be a proper transit check made by the nearest Coast Guard or the nearest port control. In this case, it would be Oman, which would be the closest Coast Guard station there. Yeah. It is once you have conflict and once you have vessels stranded there, it becomes very unnerving for the international trade to transit those waters.
Last comment, if we can, Captain Zarir, and I'm almost out of time. So just in terms of the community of liners and shipping companies at the moment, we've heard a lot from other industries of companies coming together, sharing knowledge, sharing expertise, sharing skills. Is that something that you're seeing during these times of trouble, that we're seeing the sort of shipping liners, the shipping companies come together to try and overcome these challenges?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. The last mile challenge stays the end of voyage declarations. There have been carriers who have declared frustration, but the east coast of UAE remains fully operational and very, very busy. The Khorfakkan port, Fujairah port is absolutely packed, and essentials are very much flowing into UAE. So to those listeners who stay worried and want to stock up their fridges and their warehouses, I don't think that's necessary. We have witnessed an absolute inch-to-inch packed ports and port movements on the East Coast. So do not be worried is my final message. We will get through this together. I'm absolutely optimistic about it and have all the faith in the leadership of this country.
Captain Zarir Irani, thank you so much indeed for your time